news this morning is that we are already now announcing the continuation of the race and the start of a new Volvo Ocean Race 3 years. Let me give you some background to that. You know that Volvo Cars and the Volvo Group is jointly organizing the Volvo Ocean Race. And we are doing that with the determination when we enter into arrangements like these with a long-term view and a continuity. And the reason that we do that from an organizing point of view, of course, is that we feel that this over time builds value. We can send across values into the broader range of customers, consumers and customer bases. And we can also build a professional sports base from which to communicate, but also when we are part of different sports, we can over time build also professionalism around that. I think over time we have also realized that the stakeholders here, obviously the sailors, and then the ports, and most importantly for the sailors, the syndicates, all of them require good time for preparation. This is a race now that we have raised the professionalism, the excitement, the performance, and that requires an even further time for preparation. So it was a good opportunity to announce already now that we have this race coming in 3 years. So what we have done then from Volvo Cars and the Volvo Group is to ask Knut here to prepare the next race around the world, Volvo Ocean Race around the world. Knut, with that, let me give it to you.
Thank you, Leif. First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to start planning the next race early. And I think it's fair to say that the reason we're doing this is a direct response to all the syndicates that wants to work for the next race, and to let them have not only as much time as possible to prepare, but to utilize the race we have ahead of us and the momentum the race has to market, to sell, to plan and enthuse people about the race. And obviously the best way to learn about this race is to see it and experience it. A lot easier than showing a PowerPoint presentation or showing a video. We have decided that the next Volvo Ocean Race 2011-2012 will be raced in the Volvo Open 70 class. We have also decided on a strict timeline that I think we're going to put up on the screens for the announcements of the next race. One of the processes we would like to start early next time is the process with the different ports. And our ambitions are to develop each city and each port to a festival of sail. I think Alicante has been a good example of how we can lift the level of this race to an amazing experience where really the audience are experiencing sailing in the race village, but also develop the uniqueness of each port. So we're going to start the port bidding process for the next race already in November this year. We will announce the next version of the Volvo Open to 70 rule in July 2009, which is in the end of this race. The publication of the preliminary notice of race will come August 2009, and the final route will become no later than 2010, but obviously as soon as we have new ports ready, we will announce ports. Then the final notice of race will be ready April 2010, and we plan to start the 2011 race sometime between August and October 2011. Together with DNV, we are doing a thorough audit of this current event to make good possible plans for the future. And finally, we have also entered into a partnership with Boston Consulting Group. I'm sure some of you have already met them. It's going to be a strategic partner for us, including the period into the next race, to shape the strategy of the future of this event.
Well, that's a lot to digest there, Knut and Leif. Thank you very much for all of that. I know there'll be an awful lot of questions over the next few weeks and months, and specifically next weekend on Sunday is going to be quite an interesting cross-section of people in Alicante brought just for this seminar. Can you explain a little bit more about the process with Boston Consulting Group and exactly the timeline and who they're talking to?
Well, the initial part of the process with Boston Consulting Group is that we have set ourselves a 10-week deadline to develop the most critical issues of the future strategy of the event. And that 10-week has already started. I think we're into week 2. So it's a hectic period, and they have put senior partners and very important key people from their staff into this. And first, the initial stage of this is obviously to learn as much as possible from the sailors, from the syndicates, from the sponsors, and from the ports. Where are we today? What are the different views? And how can we build the race further? And then we're going to, based on this, develop our strategy for how we choose the ports, how we work with the ports, how we work with the sailors and the syndicates and the sponsors to develop the race.
Okay, well, so just to conclude then, next race is 2011-2012. Volvo 70 class will be maintained. There's a big seminar next weekend on Sunday after the leg start. Timeline is on the schedule. And we're now going to take questions from the floor, if there are any, to either of these two gentlemen.
I just wonder if you could tell us whether or not Volvo Cars, which is owned by Ford Cars, has signed up on the dotted line, or whether they can get out of it. And if they do, would Volvo Group then pick up the whole tab?
Well, you will actually see in the press release a statement from Stephen Odell, the new head of Volvo Cars. So they have signed up, and we are in complete agreement that this is a good thing to do. And let me add also that I think the acute financial crisis that we are in right now with the illiquid markets, etc., that will be resolved, and frankly, I think fairly soon, because the impact on the world economy is such that unless it gets resolved very quickly, it's going to have even more dramatic effects. So I think come 2011, I think we will actually be back to more normal business as usual. And let me also add, because I offer this question, is it reasonable to make the type of investments that we are making in the Volvo Ocean race given the times that we are in right now? And the answer is yes. You know, the worst thing I think that we could do as Volvo Cars and the Volvo Group is to stop promoting brands, marketing products, talking to customers, bring customers in for relationship marketing, etc. If we stopped all of that, then we would actually have an even steeper downturn than one we are experiencing. So I think it's actually very well justified and very good investments to make at the time that we are in now.
I just wonder, there's an awful lot bubbling away underneath the resolution of the problems within the America's Cup at the moment. I just wondered if you just run your event regardless, and you say we'll go in 2011, or is there any way in which you are talking to the other side in order to reduce the amount of clash there might be?
Well, in fact, you will see of quite a few of the syndicates from the America's Cup will come here next weekend to also talk with us. And we have made some attempts. It's obviously quite difficult to talk to the other side when the other side is not talking to each other. But obviously we cannot stop planning the next Volvo Ocean race because America's Cup is not planning its future. And certainly we have realized that it's important that for the sport of sailing that you ensure reliability and continuity, because that's what the sport needs to grow.
Do you plan to have any events between the two Volvo Ocean races, like a professional circus with the Volvo 70s?
That is one of the things we are looking into in our strategic work, clearly. We think it was a success that we have a 3-year cycle, so that's obviously something we have decided to continue in compared to the 4-year cycle, to keep teams continuing. And I think both the Ericsson and Telefonica team proved that now there was continuation because it wasn't too far away to the next event. We also realized that if you have an event in between, this event has to be so attractive that all the best sailors really want to do it. You can't just do it as a commercial thing. You have to do it as a sportive event that is attractive enough and has enough prestige to win. So, but it's certainly one of the things we're looking into.
That's the sort of thing that will be discussed with the project managers on Sunday next week, I imagine.
Yes.
Any more questions? Teams or skippers, don't be shy. Okay. Right, well, I think we'll leave it at that. There's a lot of teams here and skippers here, so I'm sure they'll be keen to make comments to press before they go and do the Pro-Am race, which I remind you starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon. There is a press release about this announcement, which you'll find in the media centre. And that's it for now. We'll see you later on. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.